Today, Paul, I thought we'd talk at a high level about business interruption claims and some of the issues arising in quantifying such a claim.
Yep, that's a great idea.
That being a very topical and pressing issue for many businesses that have been adversely affected through this whole COVID-19 thing.
Yes.
So at present, as you know, payouts of business interruption claims relating to COVID events are being held up while our courts decide on various legal issues associated with COVID-19 related business interruption claims. As some of you will know, in July last year, insurers and the Australian Financial Complaints Authority, otherwise known as AFCA, agreed on a test case to seek the court's determination as to whether the impact of COVID-19 is covered in insurance policies which still refer to the Quarantine Act of 1908, which was repealed in 2016 and replaced by the Biosecurity Act.
That's right, Jackie. Now, that case was heard in October, with the New South Wales Court of Appeal handing down its judgment in November, determining that those insurance policies that refer to the Quarantine Act were not excluded from cover under the test case.
That's right, Paul. But then in December of last year, the Insurance Council of Australia, otherwise known as the ICA, lodged an application to the High Court for leave to appeal that judgment, Paul. There's no word yet as to whether the High Court will actually go through with the appeal, but I believe oral argument for the special leave to appeal is set down for May or June of this year. And in the meantime, the ICA has commenced a second test case, Paul, this time in the federal court, to test the meaning of certain policy wordings regarding the definition of disease, proximity of an outbreak to a business, and prevention of access to premises due to a government mandate, or similar policy wordings to that effect. So there's still a way to go in terms of gaining clarity for businesses making a BI claim because of COVID-19. But I understand that's going to be heard in about September?
That's right, yeah.
With the appeal, if any, potentially coming before the courts in November.
That's right. Now, even if those appeals are upheld in the courts, the policy holders may still need to get past certain exclusions that may be present in their insurance policies. So look, for the sake of today, let's assume that the appeals are upheld in the courts and that the claimants can get past those exclusions. They're going to be then faced with the challenge of quantifying their loss. Now, quantifying their loss in a fire or flood, which is your typical sort of BI claim, is going to be very, very different to quantifying it in a COVID-related context. So, you know, when you're talking about fire and flood, you're talking about something very physical. The impacts will be very obvious and generally means that the quantification will be quite straightforward. When we're talking about COVID, we're talking about a much more complex issue. Definitely. And without doubt, issues around causation and proximity, as you mentioned, will come into play.
Yes.
Which will then consequently have an impact on the sorts of information, the nature of information that claimants may need to provide to support their claim for business interruption during COVID.